Hi, my name is Tyler, and this research report is about appearance bias in the workplace. Beauty is only skin deep. This is the hugest cliche we've heard growing up. It reminds us of the power of images, but it never stops us from chasing after beauty and grace. In fact, researchers have shown that attractive persons generally earn 10 to 15% more than unattractive persons. Therefore, in creating a more equitable working environment, we as the future employees and employers should be cognizant of this sort of bias. This report first introduces the psychological and economical background behind look-based employment in the workplace. It then focuses on racism and sexism involved. And after analyzing the challenges behind the application of legal remedies to the concern, the following section will provide non-legal solutions. To begin with, psychologists have proven that people have an overall tendency to develop preconceptions towards others based on first impressions, especially physical appearance. The halo effect is a psychological term that describes humans' natural behavior of judging a book by its cover. The experts identify halo effect as the habitual tendency of people to rate attractive individuals more favorably for their personality traits or characteristics than those who are less attractive. That is to say, people who are judged physically attractive are seen as more competent and more socially graceful compared to ugly ones and therefore are more. To put it another way, we are born to be deluded by pretty things because it is written in our genes. Another reason to look-based employment is that good-looking workers help increase their revenues. The fact that good-looking workers are merited more is not because their appearance correlates positively with their working ability, but they are part of the advertising strategy instead. Abercrombie & Fitch, the famous American clothing retailer well known for its preference to physically attractive clerks, advertises their products through their employees, since doing so adds credibility to the idea that buying A&F products puts customer and the social elite. And the strategy has contributed to an nearly 30% profits growth according to B. Watson. Apparently, the success of Abercrombie & Fitch proves that employee appearance is so profitable in retail business that it is likely to propel employers into adopting this sort of employment strategy, further reinforcing appearance bias in the workplace. Yet, attractiveness bias in the workplace is more than just a pure concern about appearance. It can be further linked to racism. As legal scholar Deborah L. Rowe comments, mainstream aesthetic is indeed racist. Although images of beauty are growing more diverse, they still reflect a legacy of racial privilege. Rowe further expounds how traits like light skin, straight hair, and Anglo-European features have long delineated the universal ideal of beauty, thereupon prey on racial minorities. In other words, people are in fact labeling persons by color adhering to popular beauty standards, given that certain bodily features are racially exclusive. Look-based employment is also highly misogynistic in a way that women are severely victimized by the reverse effect of it while men don't. Known as reverse lookism, people can be fired for being too beautiful. American dental assistant Melissa Nielsen was dismissed from her work by her male boss since she was, according to the New York Times columnist Michael Kimmel, too tempted to pass a notice that he, Melissa's boss, was worried that he would have an affair with her. Shocking as it may sound, Melissa's case is not just a special one, but the epitome of gender inequality in look-based employment. Reported by Marks and Johnson, while attractive males are more likely to be hired, promoted, and become CEOs of major corporations, attractive females are less likely than unattractive women to be hired and more likely to work in low-level positions. Although look-based employment is supposedly gender-neutral, given that ugliness is a cross-gender phenomenon, it is indeed unfair and sexist that women are harmed by the reverse effect of it while men don't. Regarding to the racist and sexist impacts it brings, one might appraise appearance-based hiring as a form of violation to human rights and therefore look after a legal approach. Nevertheless, beauty cannot be banned legally because on one hand, people argue it being a software attribute, on the other hand, there's a lack of legal definition. Indeed, beauty is heavily valued in several industries from modeling agencies to pornography corporations. A reasonable fact that what makes beauty and handsomeness job relevant as stated by Bruton, is comparable with what makes people with congenital personalities or other software characteristics desirable to employers generally. The non-existent measurement is another challenge behind legal prohibition of look-based employment. After all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And according to Vrijeks, it is more likely a judge or jury would disagree with a plaintiff's purely appearance-based claim. Even if racial features and social values do contribute to one's perceived standard of beauty, they still lack credibility. As one judge points out, no court can be expected to create a standard on such vagaries as attractiveness. The call for direct legal remedies to the concern of appearance bias in the workplace fails to respond to the issue in terms of job relevance and the identification of beauty. Still, the deficiency of legal sanctions does not make attractiveness bias in the workplace any less unjust. That being so, to minimize the possible harm done, experts suggest that the issue be managed non-legally, including the practice of anonymous hiring and the establishment of a more consistent grooming policy. Truth is that in a regular face-to-face interviewing scenario, implicit bias against the candidates is likely to influence the interviewer's decision. Legal expert David Hausman offers voluntary anonymous hiring as a solution. As specified by him, faces data allow recruiters to look past their first impressions and choose the ones with empirically demonstrated record of success. That is, one of the best ways to combat prejudice in the recruiting system is to eliminate direct contact between applicants and interviewers in the first place. And since the policy is in an optional scheme, it provides flexibility for industries of varying natures and allows further adjustments. Additionally, if employers must control on workers' appearance for specific purposes, it is recommended that they comply with consistency, establishing dressing or grooming policies in order to avoid discriminations that further distress employees. Let's take United Airlines for example. A stewardess successfully sued United Airlines after she was laid off for being quote-unquote too fat, which might seem like a matter of appearance bias, but no, that's not how the story ended. United Airlines lost the employment discrimination lawsuit not because of the weight recruitment itself, but as sexism involved that restrained women with a stricter body mass standard. The case of United Airlines demonstrates that discriminations included in incoherent grooming policies can make the situation even worse. Sexism in this case. Regarding this matter, Fowler-Herm suggests if employers plan to have a grooming policy, dress code, or other appearance standard, be consistent. Be consistent in your treatment of men and women. Be consistent in your treatment of Caucasians, African Americans, Asians, Hispanics, or any other distinguishable group. Be consistent in your implementation of such policies. The one-size-fits-all method may not eliminate appearance bias in the workplace. It at least shelters employers or employees from other forms of bias. Let us just say people of different genders and colors are treated more equally, adhering to the same grooming policy. All in all, anonymous hiring and consistent grooming policies help address the issue, either by forestalling the occurrence of the prejudice or by dispelling other discrimination involved. So here's the conclusion. Attractiveness in the workplace is indeed very controversial. While some might see it as a software attribute and therefore appreciate the money-making side of it, the other half blame it for being antagonistic against women and racial minorities. And speaking of the solutions, the reason that non-legal remedies such as anonymous hiring and the settlement of a more consistent grooming policy can be theoretically more feasible is none other than the fact that appearance bias with its psychological background is almost impossible to be prohibited. We should know that appearance or beauty cannot be banned because it weaves everyone into the social fabric. Nevertheless, aside from attaching importance to the money-making side of it, we should recognize the harm it brings and try to minimize it. It is never wrong for us to love beautiful things as long as we can see through the power of images, to learn, to control, and to utilize it in a way to better the world. Thank you for listening.